Well, hello there, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Small Changes Are Huge. I am Crystal Williamson, and yep, it's Wednesday, April 1st, 2015. And yep, April Fool's Day, but yep, this is a Small Changes Are Huge free Google Hangout event where you'll be hearing not only from me, but also just some insight that I'll be giving. And there's going to be a great announcement at the end. And I know I've been saying a lot about announcements, actually two great announcements towards the end of the talk today. And small changes are huge. Are the philosophy is if you take one little step every day and you commit to it, your life is just in a different place in 1 week, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 months, 5 years, 10 years. All you had to do was just start with one small change and commit to it. So make that small change and it becomes huge in your life. I am Crystal Williamson, transformational business coach, Reiki master. I'm here in New York City and spring has finally sprung. Well, I guess the calendar had looked and it said it's April. So maybe we should start being a little more warmer in the morning and warmer during the day. And it's interesting because on Sunday, we actually had a little bit of snow. It was like sleet and snow. And you should have heard, I've never heard so much grumbling and cursing in my life on Saturday and Sunday over the weekend. But, you know, what can you do? We can't do anything about the weather. The only thing we can do is react to it in different ways. So the philosophy today is normally I talk about something that has affected me in my life. I'm going to be talking about a quote. Quotes are incredibly powerful and giving you some insight. And if anybody's online, I see some viewers. Hey, how are you? If you want some insight, you can always get some laser coaching. So today's Google Hangout, again, small changes are huge. It's Wednesday, April 1st, 2015. And if you see me looking over this way a little bit, there's a little bit of a panel over here in Google Hangout where I can go back and forth to my PowerPoint. Don't worry, you'll see me more than you'll see the PowerPoint. If you don't want to see me, just do one of these things on your camera. This way you can just hear my voice. Just kidding. But a couple of things I do want people to know. I created an event for this, and it's interesting. I have had so much reaction from this cute little picture that I did for the event. And yes, those are those are two little stuffed animals I had when I did a lot of traveling about 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I was going through a lot in my life, but the job that I had, the consulting gig, was sending me to a lot of trips along the Eastern Seaboard. So I was in Philly, I was in DC, I was in parts of New Jersey, I was in Boston. So I could take the train back and forth to New York City. And I took these little friends to kind of keep me company. And they still keep me company today, even though I just stay here in the Bronx and stay here in New York. But they're still in my life. But it's funny, they were very grounding for me and very helpful to me. It's funny how those just little things that are in your life that give you comfort at home, they can give you that great reminder wherever you are. So today's small changes are huge. We're actually going to be talking about something that not only I've gone through, but I'm sure countless others have gone through. How have you reacted when someone has complimented you? Wow, your hair looks great. Wow, I like that outfit. Wow, you're an amazing speaker. Wow, I really like the way you did that job. Your insight is incredible and you have a lot of integrity. All of those amazing things that people say to you, how do you react to them? In the simplest form, they're compliments, but it goes deeper than that. So I just want to go back to the PowerPoint just for one moment. And so we've gone through a few small changes are huge over the past several months. I started this in November, December of 2014. Here's our little bit of a tagline. And just, oh, this is a little bit about me. And I talked a little bit about me. Let me just move on. But here's just a few of the small changes or huge topics. I love this now what guide. Once you start making those changes, now what are you going to do? And doubt can really get you at times. And just go ahead and change your mind. Everyone see that little, this here, this old style register. If you're a millennial, I don't like to compartmentalize people, but if you're a person that's watching this on your smartphone or your mobile device, and you prefer to look at stuff on the internet that way, then I've heard a statistic, you're probably millennial. If you're not, you're a Generation Xer like me. We're watching it on the web. And otherwise, I'll print this out for anybody else who likes to print, print copies and stuff. But all you have to do is change your mind. So those of us that are Generation Xers and those of us are older than that, remember these old style cash registers, and when they went from the old ones to ones that were a little bit younger than that, and then the ones of today. And it's interesting, these butterflies, I really love butterflies. And butterflies, before butterflies come about, they are caterpillars. And the caterpillar calls it the end of life, but a butterfly starts a new life. So you never know where you're going. And I actually like caterpillars too, but caterpillars are kind of cute, but butterflies are just incredibly exquisite. And you just never know if you can go from being something that's cute to just something that's amazing. All you have to do is just grow. And today's quote, and this really killed me. It's funny because I know there's the F word in here. And one of the things about this Google Hangout, I said that you really have to be over 18 to be a part of this Google Hangout. But I do want you to know, when I really read this, and I said, wow, this is bad. You become so damaged that when someone gives you something you deserve, a compliment, or they give you a wonderful gift, and a wonderful gift can be something like, that was, you have so much integrity in your life. That's a gift that somebody gives you. You have no idea. You've no fucking idea how to respond. I mean, has this ever happened to you? You tell me. Have you ever, someone's told you something wonderful about you, and then you just stand there like, thank you. Wow, that was really heartfelt, wasn't it? And I've done that. I actually did I'm going to go through another kind of arc in a few minutes. I've gone through all of these, and I'm looking at the calendar now. Calendar's behind my computer. I've looked at all of these over the past 2 weeks. I've been one of these over the past 2 weeks, some more than one. No, I'm not going to tell you which one more than one. But the great thing is I've come to the, after I've realized what I've done, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I've done. Now that I've done something that's kind of negative, flip it to the other side and look, so what's the positive you can get from it? So just interesting. What has happened to you? And then you just have no idea. How do you respond to this? When someone is kind of giving you a gift, and I don't mean necessarily a physical gift, something that's really, look at this. This is for you. This is for you. And you just don't know how to respond to it. They give you a wonderful compliment, again, or a physical gift, and you just don't know how to respond to something that you deserve. And it's interesting because you probably know a lot of negative things about your life. You can, if I say describe yourself to you, you might give me some of the physical attributes, but then you go through, well, I could be taller. Well, my hair could be straight. My hair could be curly. It's funny, I heard a male comedian said women are never satisfied with their hair. And then he went through so many things. All the women couldn't stop laughing. The men were kind of like, should we laugh at this? But, women who had straight hair wanted curly hair. Women who had short hair wanted long hair, and vice versa. I have hair that I relax all the time. I have hair that I color all the time. I will admit that to you. I have no problem doing it. So people who have gray hair want dark hair. People who want dark hair want light hair. Just so many scenarios. We're never satisfied with the way we are. And the day we are, that's the day when we change. And it's not just about something physical like hair or a nicer outfit, or it's not just about that. It's about when I accept the good in my life. So I can think of all those negative things pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. I can think of those. And sometimes if I say to you, give me, 10 of your weaknesses or 10 of your negatives, you probably give me like 17, 18, bam, off the bat. I know I can do that. So start thinking about the flip side. And you know what's interesting when you start thinking about the flip side, again, that small changes piece that's in your life, boy, it will change. As soon as you start thinking beyond this, when I'm getting what I'm deserving, and I'm getting what I'm deserving from me. And now, how do I respond? So, this guy is like, wait a minute, I got something good. And remember I mentioned to you that I've gone through all of these within the past 2 weeks or so. I was annoyed. I was angry that someone gave me something that I thought was just way too much. And I don't mean expensive, monetarily expensive. I mean that, this is too much. What are you doing? I was in denial. Well, it's kind of nice, but overcompensate. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Deflecting, like someone complimented a jacket, a suit I had on, and it was actually, it's funny because I'm even going to tell you this. I was deflecting. It was the combination of 2 suits. It was pants from one suit and a jacket from another. And I said, well, it's a suit from, who the hell cares? It looks great, and I felt great in it. That's the important thing. Someone gives you something you deserve, you change the subject totally. So how about those Knicks? How about the Boston Nets? Just change the subject totally. Like I said, you could contradict it. You kind of acknowledge it. Remember when I did that kind of thank you? You kind of say, my voice is pretty, as someone said to me, you have a voice that carries. Of course, I don't think that way. I think I just have a loud voice. But, and I also, now I finally have acknowledged I actually have a nice speaking voice. But I would, if someone say, wow, you have a voice that sounds wonderful, and your voice carries too, it's perfect. And I went, oh, thank you, and that's, I don't talk like that. I don't ever think I talk like that. My mother would tease me when I was younger. It's like, when I was like about 4 or 5, she said, I'm going to teach you how to whisper because you don't seem to know how to do it. I can laugh about it today, guys. I know people might think, my mother said that, or it's horrible your mother said that. You know what? I'm glad I do know how to whisper, guys. I do. But it's interesting. I'm glad that I've gone through the other side of that. So it's interesting when you go through all of these pieces, basically, what do you do in your life? And it's funny because with this next piece, I'm saying it's more than just say thank you. Because you could say thank you and kind of fluff it off. Because what's so interesting about this, about saying thank you, is it heartfelt? Is it heartfelt to you? Can you feel it in your heart? Can you feel it? I'm really into the chakras. I'm a Reiki master. So with Reiki, not if people say it's hands-on healing, it's energy healing. I don't have to touch you to actually, I'm not giving you Reiki, we're exchanging energy, and that's where Reiki comes from. But if I just, through the heart chakra, because we talk a lot about chakras, the heart chakra is where you think, right? Where your heart is, not the physical heart, but the heart, the kind of in the middle of the chest. If you are female, in the middle of the breasts. And if you can feel the thank you from there, that's amazing. That's really incredible. So what is, well, let me just finish this. Excuse me. I got a lot of thoughts going on. But it's more than just feeling it from your heart chakra, because there's something that comes before you start feeling it from your heart chakra. So what's underneath that? What is underneath that? What am I not acknowledging when I say thank you, or I say, oh, I got to tell them that I got these shoes on sale? Who the hell cares? Someone's giving you a compliment, and like I said, it doesn't have to be, something physical. And what are your qualities? Because you, like I said, if I say to you, what are your weaknesses? Bam, 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 bam. I bet you could give your weaknesses pretty well, but can you start doing your qualities? Well, I'm tall. You know, and I'm sure you can think of 10, but you might go through them. And then when you start going through them in your mind, oh, what else is it about me that's good? Oh, yeah, that's right. As opposed to the weaknesses, we can kind of fluff, kind of say them pretty quickly. Um, and what you got to start thinking about, if you have a problem with your qualities in your life, your assets, to coin a better phrase, your assets, what do you do effortlessly? What do you do that, and it could be something physical, or it could just be something that is, I don't know, that just is like the back of your hand. You just do it. It's like, and then you think, well, doesn't everybody do that? It's really interesting. At the place where I work now, I'm a trainer and a coach at a particular corporate environment. And in this corporate environment, all of the higher ups they're going to a particular, they're going to a big meeting. And they do this actually twice a year. And this one is not the one that's more meeting intensive. So they're sending they're sending a couple of people like myself that are in technology and the type of training that I do, the type of coaching I do. They're sending a couple of us there. And my manager said to me, and she gave me like a list of some of my attributes. You're good in, she didn't say a crisis, but she said something like you're good on the fly. You think quickly. She did say that, which I do acknowledge about myself. You have an easy style. Your voice is wonderful. And she said, I don't think you're very intimidated by these people. And it's just interesting that when she said all those things, I was sitting there in her office, and it's not often that I'm speechless. And I said to her, thank you. And she looked at me and kind of laughed, and then we went on. And that's when I started thinking about, and it's funny because this was last week, Friday, and I thought about it on Saturday too, about my reaction. But this is just so much of what's going on with me. What's underneath that, right? So what's underneath that in my life? I'm laughing at myself now, but if you spoke to me, I think it was Friday morning about 10:30, she told me, if you talked to me Friday about 11 or 12 or so, I would have been in a totally different place. Of course, sometimes when you have some space, you can start seeing things differently. So start thinking about what you do effortlessly. What is the joy that you have in your life? What do you just love to do? I mean, I also love to cook. So one of my things is, if you love food, because I do love food, you have to at least know how to cook, because you can't go out every night unless you're a billionaire. And then you get tired of going out to restaurants. I mean, I've gone out to restaurants, and I know what you might be saying. I would not be tired of going to a restaurant. You might be. You might be, if you went every day, let's say for about 5 or 6 months, you'd probably be tired of going out every day. And that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Whether you went to the same place or different places, it's like, it gets tedious. Anything you do repetitively and with no joy becomes tedious. It doesn't matter what it is. So what is your joy? I love to cook. Like I said, I love to cook. And so I kind of experiment with food. I don't eat red meat, so I have to get kind of creative with chicken, with turkey, and with fish. And sometimes even vegetarian type dishes. Now I'm more of a, like I said, no red meat, no pork. So I get very creative with those other things. Even like I've made eggplant parmesan. I've made vegetarian lasagna. And I made vegetarian lasagna one time when I thought I had meat. I thought I had some leftover meat. So all you have to do is just throw it on. and I had about, maybe about this much left. You see, everybody sees this? I had about that much left. So I could, if I'm making a pan that's 9 by 9 inches, it ain't gonna fit. So as I was making the vegetarian, because I had a lot of vegetables, I had a lot of spinach and other things, and I actually had carrots too. But anyway, when I started making, I said, well, maybe I'll just have that snack while I'm cooking, when I'm making it. So that's exactly what I did. But like I said, I had such great joy kind of putting this stuff together, and I was just so happy about things. I was just so happy. So what gives you joy? What is effortless in your life? I have a friend who's she watches this every week, and she got to be in she was okay to go to college, and she also loves food, and she's done vegan, she's done vegetarian, she's done a couple of different things, but she was accepted into a nutritionist program. So that's her joy. That's her joy. She does it so effortlessly. And I remember her and I talking about food, and I didn't know some things that she know, and she was like, you mean everybody doesn't know that? And it's like, no, well, not that I'm everybody, but when she started asking people, it's like that she realized, wow, I have a lot of knowledge that other people don't, and I love doing this. So what do you do effortlessly? What's your joy? Guess what? That is one of your assets. That's a million of your assets. You will have so many assets when you start thinking about those things. I like, when I realized that I love to cook, I also realized that I like kind of putting things together almost like a puzzle. And I can think of like substituting things, because sometimes you look in the pantry and you say, well, let me make this. And it's like, uh-oh, I only got a little bit. Well, how do I stretch it? And sometimes I have the time to go and kind of go online and research it. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just, well, let's see if this gets thrown together. And it's from my previous knowledge. I know that some types of olive oil will stretch certain if I ground up garlic and onions and I put it in a paste, and it's like I only have a little bit, then I put a little bit more olive oil in it, and maybe a little bit more of maybe some other spices that are in it, some cumin or something, and it gives it a whole different flavor. You kind of experiment with it. But that's also, like I said, that's not just cooking, but that's kind of putting things together almost like a puzzle. And it's like, well, how do these pieces fit? Oh, wow, these pieces fit differently. If you put them over here, they fit differently. So it's about kind of putting things together and allowing things to unfold. And that's just a couple of the things I love to do. So see how those are my assets. And just a little bit of how I got to the journey of it. So if you're struggling with this, let me just talk to you about this. So if you're struggling with this, and don't worry, we all struggle with it. What I want you to do, and I always tell when I say something to adults about this next word, it's a dirty word, homework. Guess what, guys? I'm going to put the homework in the YouTube in the comments. So I want you to write your bio, but the date of the bio is in 2020. But not just think of a date, excuse me, not just think of, oh yeah, 5 years from now. Let's pick a specific date. And actually, you know what? I'm going to change this right now. I'm going to change this right now. Everybody sees that? So don't worry, you'll be around. So not just 5 years from now, but that's actually 8 years from now. 8 years from now. I want you to start thinking about and pick this specific day, May 30th, 2028. So what have you done? What have you learned? What have you stopped doing? You know what? I used to be very negative in my life, and then suddenly on April 2nd, 2015, I decided when I became negative, I would always flip it over and start doing positive things in my life. Okay, that's one small change. And now that you've done that, what do you've been doing that since that date. It's now May 30th, 2028. What else is possible for you? So here's your homework. You don't have to send it to me. If you do, you can always email me, crystal@coachingwithcrystal.com. But guess what? Start thinking about what have you done. So this is the date of the bio. And then start thinking about what have you done, what have you learned, and what have you stopped doing to make much, much more possible. In coaching, we call this a future letter. So you're writing almost like writing a letter to yourself, like yourself in 8 or 9, 10, 12 years. But what I do is I say, pick a specific date, as opposed to just say, well, what would I like to be doing in 2 years? Pick a specific date, a very specific date. And yes, pick it in the future. And if that's too overwhelming for you, so it's April 1st, 2015. So let's say you write a letter to yourself and now it's September 30th, 2015. So about 6 months from now. If that's too much, then write a letter to yourself from May 30th, 2015, about 8 weeks from now. Even if you write a letter and you say, you know, I'm writing a letter 1 week from today, which is April 8th. Guys, that's sad. I had to look at the calendar. So 7 days from today, April 8th, pick a very specific date and write that bio. Now that you've changed your life, where are you now? And then when you look at it, start implementing it. This is the most important homework that you'll ever do for yourself. Start writing it down and start doing it. I'm telling you, it'll change your life. That's the whole basis of small changes are huge. The whole basis. Make one small change, commit to doing it, and keep on doing it every day. Just do it every day. And then like you started tonight, you know what? I'm going to do some stretches before I go to sleep. And next week, you'll still be doing the stretches. Just do it for 5 minutes. You'll be surprised. I have friends that are yoga teachers, and also I know people who are, I love yoga, but I have friends who are, they don't like yoga. And they said, well, do I have to do all the bending and the stretching? No, you don't, but you do have to start something. But what you can do is sit on the edge of your bed and you can do a couple of leg stretches. Just watch some videos on YouTube, and I'm sure there's some stuff that you can do. Talk to your doctor, but you got to start somewhere. Otherwise, you're thinking it's another 3 weeks and you haven't done anything, and then it's another 4 months you haven't done anything, another year, 3 years, and then suddenly you're in the same place you were today. You've got to start someplace. And what you do is you commit to doing it. And who you're committing it to? Not to me. Not to me. You can commit to your family, your spouse. You can commit to another individual. You can commit to me if you want. But the most important person to commit to, you. The most important person is you. You've got to commit to you. You really do. So this homework, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to do the homework too. I've actually done this before, but I haven't done a fresh one I definitely haven't done it this year. I think I haven't done it since last fall. So it's been about 7 or 8 months. So I tell you what, I'll do another one, but I'm not going to post it for about a week. So I will post it in the YouTube comments, but I'm going to post it in a little while. Okay, so I won't post it tomorrow, but by April 8th or 9th, I will make sure it's posted in there. Okay, so everybody got their homework? If you don't, always rewind this, go back, or by end of day tomorrow, I'll be able to put it in the comments for you below. And I'd love to hear what you're talking about. So remember, my email address, Crystal, just like the good China, CRYSTAL, crystal@coachingwithcrystal.com. And I want to be able to hear what you have to say about your life and what you're committing to. Another amazing thing that's happening. Well, first of all, I always have the offer of giving people a Small Changes Are Huge free session, and now there's a group. And there's been this group, it's called Coaching with Crystal. But now if you go to the Facebook group and look up Small Changes Are Huge, we're going to start April 6th, where every day we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We'll be interacting with each other. And I'm still figuring out what the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be free Friday, where we get to interact and ask each other questions or feedback. No spamming. I will throw people's butts out in a minute if they start spamming about, it would be great if you wore these sunglasses. If I see one more of those damn things on Facebook, I'm going to hurt somebody. Okay. But every day, if you join this group, and I'm actually going to connect it to Twitter for people too. If you connect to it every day, there's going to be something else that the group learns. So I'll talk to you more about it. But what I want you to do the homework, of course, and I want you to just go to Facebook, look up Facebook Small Changes Are Huge, and join. And just like the group, and you'll be seeing so many more things that are happening here with the Small Changes Are Huge group. So we've come to the end of the group for today, and I'm so glad everybody was here. I had a couple of people that were viewers. A lot of people look online later. It's funny, I have a friend who just moved to Arizona, and she said, 8 o'clock, not good, because it's 5 o'clock and she's going to be in an appointment at that time. So that's fine. I even said to her, just go to the YouTube video and you'll be able to, see the replay as long as you need. So the next Small Changes Are Huge, your tax day, April 15th. And I'm going to see if I can hook up everybody. Not hook up everybody. You guys know what I mean. I'm going to see if I can get a guest on the show, so she can talk about, because she's been following me. We've known each other for a while, and also she's been going to the Hangouts, and she has seen a lot, and she's made some changes in her life, and some amazing things have been happening in her life. So I want her to come on and start talking about how she's implemented and what she's done in her life. So I'm going to see if I can get her today. I couldn't get her to be on the show, but then this amazing thing happened to me. So this is great. Everything always works out. My life is unfolding with a specific plan, and that's great for me. If anybody's following the Oprah and Deepak meditations. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday, April 15th. As always, you always get a Small Changes Are Huge, the ability to have Small Changes Are Huge complimentary consultation. And I said a little bit about a VIP, half-day VIP day, and I'm going to extend this even more into April. So you can, this Small Changes Are Huge complimentary consultation, notice it is free. This is free. There is a cost for the VIP Small Changes Day, but please let's talk about this complimentary consultation, and we can move on from there. So, so for now, I'm so glad everybody came here, and we talked about, when good things happen in your life, what do? Don't cut back on that homework. Do it. I was going to say a bad word, and I decided not to. But don't do that homework. Just do it, and I will put my homework for you in the group, in the comments below. So everybody, I'm so glad you were here today. Thank you so much for being here. This is Crystal Williamson. Have a great evening. Have a great week. And oh yeah, a great Easter too. Easter Sunday is this week. If you do celebrate, if you don't celebrate, just have a wonderful Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll see you on April 15th. Au revoir.